Ever catch yourself rewinding a movie, like, just to hear a certain line again? You know, like, how do they make it sound so real, so effortless, even when it's, like, a talking frog or something?
It's true.
Well, that's that voiceover magic we're diving into today. And
Yeah.
trust me, the journey from, like, script to your earbuds, fascinating.
It really is.
And RoleCatcher, the online platform for job seekers, that's our backstage pass today.
Yeah.
They're going to help us unpack what a voiceover artist actually does.
And it's a lot more technical, I think, than people realize.
Way more technical.
And way more creatively fulfilling.
Okay, so we're not just talking about, like, having a radio voice then.
Right.
Give us the rundown. Like, what's happening in the studio with these vocal chameleons?
Yeah, so think of it more as acting.
Okay.
But your voice is the entire performance, right? So you have to convey the right emotion. You have to nail the comedic timing.
Oh, wow.
And you even have to make sure that you sound consistent, take after take.
Oh, interesting.
Which is really demanding. And the variety is huge.
Yeah.
One day you could be a sassy cartoon squirrel. The next you're narrating an audiobook on, like, astrophysics.
See, that's what fascinates me about this. Is
Yeah.
It's like being a character actor, but for every genre imaginable.
Yeah.
Which I love. So does that mean that voice actors often specialize? Like, could you build a career as the go-to voice for, like, I don't know, space alien documentaries?
Yeah, it happens more than you'd think.
Really?
And this is where it gets really interesting. So with remote recording becoming the norm, a voice actor could be, someone in their pajamas. Could be voicing a Japanese anime from their home studio one day and a French video game the next.
Wow.
The reach is global.
That's wild. Okay, home studio, global reach. I mean, this is sounding kind of dreamy.
It does, doesn't it?
But RoleCatcher makes it clear that a nice voice is just the start. What other skills do they highlight as essential to be successful?
So strong reading comprehension is at the top of the list.
Okay.
And I don't just mean like being able to read the words on the page.
Right.
A good voice actor can analyze a script like a detective.
Yeah.
What's the subtext? What is the character's motivation?
It's just
What is the emotional arc of the scene? It's about bringing depth to every single line.
that makes sense because even if your delivery is amazing, you have to believe what you're saying.
Exactly. And you have to think about it's not a solo endeavor. Like social perceptiveness is huge.
Okay.
Imagine voicing a character in like a really heated argument.
Right.
You need to understand their relationship dynamics, their emotional triggers, how your tone of voice might influence the other actors. It's collaborative storytelling.
Suddenly, my high school drama club improv sessions don't seem so silly now.
It's all connected.
Right.
And we can't forget about active listening.
Yeah.
Working with directors, taking feedback, being able to incorporate adjustments on the fly.
Oh, wow.
It's a constant exchange, not just you in a booth reading lines.
Yeah. So you're painting a picture of a career that is both technically demanding and creatively fulfilling.
Yeah.
But how does one actually break in? Is this like a booming field or is it like voiceover Hunger Games out there?
It's a little bit of both, to be honest. Okay, RoleCatcher points out that, like, the demand for animated content kind of exploding right now.
Right.
You've got streaming services, video games.
It's true.
Even those explainer videos we all secretly love.
Yes.
They all need talented voice actors.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like every company needs like jingle, but now they need a whole cast of characters for their online presence.
Exactly.
Right.
And as you can imagine,
Yeah.
that means the competition is fierce.
Oh, yeah.
But what RoleCatcher really emphasizes here is it's not just about talent, it's about adaptability.
Okay.
This industry is always evolving. New software, new animation styles,
Sure.
new platforms popping up all the time.
Right. So resting on your laurels with like, killer evil laugh is not an option.
Nope.
You got to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. It's like any artistic field.
Yeah.
You're not just learning a craft. You're like, you're becoming a lifelong student of that craft.
Right. That's a good point. Okay. So let's be real for a sec. What about the less glamorous side of this?
Yeah.
I mean, RoleCatcher gives us the good, the bad, and the you're going to need a side hustle of voice acting.
Right.
So lay it on us. What should aspiring artists like prepare for?
Well, on the plus side, I mean, the flexibility is undeniable. Like setting your own hours, potentially working from anywhere with good recording equipment. I mean, that's huge for a lot of people.
Right.
And the creative opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, one project could be voicing a historical documentary. The next is a singing telegram for a birthday party.
That's amazing.
You just never know what's going to come through the door.
Yeah. Okay, see, that's the stuff that they don't tell you in, like, career aptitude tests.
Right.
It's like, the thrill of the unknown. It's like, I love it.
And the potential income can be significant.
Huh?
Like once you build a reputation,
Okay.
once you get a client base going,
Yeah.
experienced voice actors can command pretty impressive rates,
Really?
especially for those high-profile projects.
All right, so we've got flexible hours, endless creativity, and the potential to rake it in. What's the catch?
Right.
Because I'm sensing a but coming.
But competition and rejection are definitely part of the game,
Right.
especially early on.
Okay.
Like building a reputation takes time, it takes resilience.
Sure.
And RoleCatcher actually tells us like great story
Yeah.
about this one successful voice actor who, before landing his big break, spent 2 years doing nothing but auditioning and taking like tiny gigs for local businesses just to get his name out there.
Wow, so persistence is key. But what about those first steps? Because RoleCatcher lays out this career path, but it feels very much like a classic Catch-22. Like, you need experience to get the job.
Right.
But how do you get that initial experience?
That is where the hustle comes in.
Okay.
So RoleCatcher is big on building like a killer demo reel.
Makes sense.
Think of it as a highlight reel
Right.
for your voice.
Okay.
Short snippets that really show off your range, your acting chops,
Okay.
the genres you really excel in.
Yeah.
It's your audio business card.
So not just, like, reading a grocery list in different accents, then.
Well,
Although I bet I could make that compelling.
I believe you.
Right.
But seriously, a good demo reel is targeted to the type of work that you actually want to do. Animation, narration, commercials.
Makes sense.
Each one has its own style.
So if someone's listening to this and thinking, all right, time to dust off the old microphone, what's the first step after the demo reel? Because let's be real, networking is not everybody's cup of tea.
No, it's not. But in this field, it's essential.
Right.
And thankfully, it's not all about like schmoozing at cocktail parties anymore.
Sure.
Online communities are huge for this.
Oh, interesting.
Places where you can share your work, get feedback,
Yeah.
even find collaborators for those early projects that are just going to like beef up your resume.
And I'm guessing RoleCatcher itself is a networking, like, gold mine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Connecting with other professionals, seeing what kind of work is in demand, even finding potential mentors.
Cool.
It's all there. Plus, don't underestimate the power of like taking a workshop or even finding a voice acting coach.
Oh, wow.
They can give you invaluable guidance and feedback.
Right. It's like they say your network is your net worth, but in this case, it's your voice that's the asset.
Yeah, I like that. And building that network and honing those skills, that's all part of what RoleCatcher calls embracing the voiceover journey. It's not always easy, but the payoff can be huge.
And speaking of payoff, we talked about like the career ladder, right? You start
Yeah.
with these early gigs and then you could, potentially become the voice behind a beloved cartoon character. RoleCatcher lays out this progression, but I'm curious, what does that actually look like in terms of like day-to-day work?
Okay, well, picture this. You're just starting out, right?
Okay.
You landed a few small roles thanks to that awesome demo reel. So at this entry-level stage, it's all about mastering those technical aspects.
Okay.
Think like nailing your delivery, taking direction like a pro, maybe even voicing those like background characters that kind of add depth to a scene.
Right. It's like being the ensemble cast in a musical.
Exactly.
Like you might not be center stage, but you're learning the choreography of the entire production.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Now, as you gain experience, you gain confidence.
Yeah.
You might find yourself taking on like supporting roles. Junior level voice acting is where you really start collaborating with the directors, adapting to feedback, understanding how your character kind of fits into the bigger narrative.
So less about like hitting the right notes and more about finding your unique voice within the ensemble.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And if you keep impressing those directors,
Yeah.
you might find yourself on the path to those like coveted major roles.
Oh, okay.
Mid-level voice acting is where you start to get a little more creative freedom.
Ooh.
More lines, maybe even the chance to shape your character's personality a bit.
Okay, now we're getting to like the pinch me I'm dreaming stage.
Right.
Okay, but what comes after that? Like what does the top of the voiceover mountain even look like?
The senior level voice actor.
Okay.
These are the industry veterans. These are the voices behind iconic characters.
Wow.
The ones who command like top dollar and they actually get to collaborate on everything. From like script tweaks to marketing campaigns.
So like the Beyonce of the voiceover world. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. They've paid their dues. They've honed their craft. They've built that reputation for excellence.
Right.
But it's not just about fame and fortune. At
Yeah.
that level, it's about like mentoring new talent,
Hmm.
contributing to the industry as a whole, maybe even like using your platform to kind of give back to the community a little bit.
Okay, that's inspiring. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of voiceover artistry here,
Yeah.
what's the one piece of advice from RoleCatcher that really resonated with you? What's the takeaway for our listeners who are now seriously considering this career path?
It's not about having the perfect voice, and it's not about getting discovered overnight.
Right.
It's about passion, perseverance, and a genuine love for the craft.
So true.
I think Rollcatcher's big takeaway is find joy in the process,
Okay.
like the classes, the networking, even those early rejections, because that's where the real growth happens.
It's like they say, enjoy the journey, not just the destination. And in this case, the journey involves like hilarious scripts,
Right.
wacky characters, and, maybe even working in your pajamas from time to time. What's not to love?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Now, for our listeners out there, we'll leave you with this. What character would you want to voice?
Ooh, good question.
Let that be your North Star as you explore this very exciting world. Keep practicing, keep networking, and who knows, maybe one day we'll be hearing your voice bringing a character to life.